So this game is called 19 Line, and it is a horror visual novel. I'm liking the art style. It's a little PS1 era. There's a little bit of crushness, but it looks really nice. Mind the gap. You don't think it's far. You struggled so long to find your place, to get to where you were now. You've even given up your partner. The subway was your life. Even before reading the spiral-bound books the company gave you for the admission test, you already knew the complete story of every line of the Buen Air subway system. You already know the 2 line had been the first one, that it wasn't ready in 1912, or that it was ready in 1912 but wasn't inaugurated until 1913, prime number. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. You knew that there were 2 different theories to explain the names of the lines. Some people believed it was some kind of mathematical mysticism professed by the construction company's owner. But there was also those who believed it was a strategy the government was using to compete against the more developed countries, to make the local subway network seem larger than it really was. You also knew that the 19 line had been inaugurated in 1951, another prime number, and that the late-night subway service for the 19 had been released in 1973. No relatives or friends of yours worked in the subway system, so the path you got to drive a unit was a bumpy one. You paid your dues working in every imaginable position for years, and never complained. There was no amount of abuse that you wouldn't take to get what you wanted. You were going to be a train operator eventually. It had been your dream ever since you were a kid, the one constant thing in your life. When a train operating position finally opened, you were informed the night shift of the 19 was yours. You felt that all your hard work had paid off. But now that you were a train operator, the others still treated you like you didn't deserve it. 7 months on the job and you'd never been late to a station or stopped past the door marks on a platform floor. Performance was impeccable. Was that it? Your fellow train operators believed you were the best student, that hideous reference point against which the bosses set the measure for everyone else? You were about to reach the station. You'll regret that you let all those negative thoughts consume you, instead of enjoying the ride. Now you'll have to see their faces. It's only 13 minutes to 1 a.m. Okay, so we can go to the bathroom or we can go to the common room. It's 1 o'clock. Let's go to the bathroom. It's a good time to take a pee. Oh, and if you've not seen the poster art for this game, it is phenomenal. As Brawl in the chat has pointed out, it has a very Soviet sci-fi look. You use the key shared by the train operators and maintenance staff and lock yourself in a stall. You hang your bag on one of the hooks and close the toilet lid. You can either cover the lid with toilet paper or sit on the toilet. We are bare-cheeking it. You'd like to cover the lid with toilet paper. You know all about Jose's condition. You've overheard him talk with the other drivers many times. You assume it was fungus, and that spreading so much time sitting is making it worse. However, you feel guilty using the company's toilet only to sit on the toilet to kill time. When was the last time that any of them, Jose, Paco, or Chelo, spoke to you? Why would they give you the silent treatment? And why would they all stop talking to you when you enter the room? Or didn't answer right away when you made a direct question? Why would they invite you when why would they invite you when they all had breakfast at the same bar? Being left aside is not new to you. You grew up with an alcoholic mother and an absent father. You have no siblings. However, that doesn't make it less painful. You get up and flush the toilet. You realize you haven't actually used it. You're wasting the company's water, and that makes you feel guilty. You try and stop the process, but it's too late. You get out of the bathroom and open the door to the common room. Jose, Paco, and Chelo are drinking scotch. Why are the three train operators drinking in the middle of the workday? You feel a pit in your stomach and your hands start trembling. Paco points at you and asks if you're okay. He calls you kid. He never called you that. Even though you're almost 40, you don't mind. For the first time, you feel things can change. Chelo pours a glass of scotch and asks you to join them. It's a special night, he says. You approach the table and sit on a chair. Chelo hands you the glass. Is that a rat? That is absolutely a rat. I don't think they're gonna poison us. I think that's a little paranoia. Oh. Yeah, apparently there's you just don't get those choices because you're on the job and you are very dedicated to it. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't grab the scotch glass. It's against the rules, and you'd fought so hard to get where you are now. You look at Chelo apologetically. Jose tells the others he was right. You were a pussy and you had no business in the 19. You try to say something, but Jose interrupts you and sends you to fetch some water. He gulps down the scotch Chelo had poured for you. You pour yourself a glass of tap water and hear them laugh. You choose not to look their way to avoid further comments. You spend the following minutes by the sink, going over the emergency procedures in case there's a surprise inspection during the week. Chelo walks up to where you are and starts rinsing his glass. He tells you under his breath to go to the bathroom in a few minutes and lock yourself in a stall. 5 minutes later, you're on your way out and you hear Jose say your name. You don't get what he says, but he's probably nothing good. You enter the bathroom and lock yourself in a stall. After a while, Chelo comes in and opens the faucet. He stands next to the stall and asks you to understand the guys. They're nervous because today's a very special night for the 19. I'm kind of curious to know why it's a special night. Chelo asks you to be patient. You'll understand in time. Is this some kind of, conductor cult? Awesome if it is. You see Chelo slide something under the door, and he says tonight is not like any other night. No matter what happens, you must not leave the train. And in case there's trouble, there you have a knife. You want to open the door and ask for an explanation, but Chelo is holding it. As soon as you stop pushing, he tells you to stay calm and wait until he's gone. Even if he wanted to, he wouldn't be able to say much more. You hear the bathroom door shut. I'm going to trust him that we want the knife. Lift the knife and put it in your pocket. You walk to the mirror and wash your face. Definitely this isn't an ordinary night. You check your watch. You have to start your route again. I'm really digging this art direction because you could go very staticky images with a visual novel and get away with it. This has a very cutscene feel, like a PlayStation 1 era cutscene. Oh, that was someone who just walked in front of the train. The fuck was that? Where'd all those people come from? You force your way through the crowd and confirm your worst fear. A man's torso lies a few feet from the train. You don't see his legs, but assume they could be between the train and the tracks. Well, we were told to not leave the train. So I am going back to the car. You need to go back to the car and inform that the service should be suspended until the body is removed, and all those people are out of the tracks. Oh, did we just get smacked in the back of the head? Or shot? You open your eyes and try to understand what you're seeing. It's hard to get used to the light. Somehow you're walking among those people. I'm gonna struggle. You notice that they've been holding you under your armpits. Two rough movements and you're free. Okay, speed up. I was gonna say, it doesn't look like we're really... Okay. An old man trips and falls on you. His face is haggard and smells of cigarettes. You ask the old man if he's okay, but he doesn't answer. Before you can get up, someone else trips and falls on you too. Let's try to get... I don't think anyone's going to try to help us, so let's just try to get up. You move closer to the wall and manage to free yourself. You get up with difficulty. More people trip and crush the old man. You scream and ask that somebody help him, but the crowd pushes you forward. You are aware of your racing heart. You can feel your pulse raging in your legs, arms, and chest. You try and calm down and breathe slowly, to not think about what just happened. Once you feel more calm, you become aware of the stench in the tunnels. You look around but don't recognize them. Where are you? This tunnel that you're in right now doesn't belong to the subway network. That you know for sure. You look around and no one's paying attention to you. They just keep walking forward. You're not sure why a smile spreads over your face, reinforcing the void you feel inside. A smile that looks nothing like happiness. Okay, I can't go back and look at the message. I somehow got skipped part of the way. You think these people are like the subway. They move forward with overwhelming strength. For a moment you see the body right before it was hit, and you grab your head. Your legs hurt, but you know you can't stop. You've made that mistake before. You feel something different in the atmosphere. It smells a little like fresh air, and you can see a light far away. A few minutes later, you see a fork in the tunnel. The people before you go left. Go left, the wall that's closest to them. So I can follow the people to the left, or I can go right where no one is going. I don't know. I'm going to go left. I'm going to save, actually. Yeah, and I'm going to go left now. You turn left and see how the walkers appear to be choosing their places. You think right away about that one time you met with your ex-wife you went with your ex-wife to the Colon Theater. Back when she still said, "Me too," to your I love yous. The stale odor becomes stronger and brings you back to the present. You have no doubt now. There's a certain rhythm to the terrible bangs that fill the place. You've walked a little more than a quarter of the terrace circumference when you see people coming your way. You think they may be the ones who turned right at the entrance. I'm going to plant my feet. You try and stick a foot between the legs of the person closest to you and the wall. You look at the entrance and see the people are still pouring in. You see them pushing and hear the first screams. But the screams do not come from the people falling. It is a crowd cheering every time someone falls and smashes against the gallery floor. The ones closest to the wall push forward in order to see, and those closest to the edge lose footing and fall. Terrified, you see how your foot approaches the edge, and feel a sharp pain in your calf muscle. Let's unlock our foot from the we can unlock our foot from the leg of the person behind us, or grab the collar of the person behind you. I'm going to go with unlocking the foot. That's very dark. And it sounds like we fell. The moment you unlock your foot, you feel an instant relief on the muscle. But it doesn't last long. With no firm place to hold on to, you fall towards the gallery and smash to the ground. You look at your legs and see your femur protruding out of your leg. You feel no pain. You see some giant shapes clash among them and finally understand where the loud noises were coming from. You slowly fall asleep and never wake up. If I hit back, okay, it does take me to the last area I was. Okay, and it gets rid of the other choice, so let's grab the collar of the person behind me. And we fell again. You grab the man by the collar. He smiles while inertia sends you both spinning through the air. You fall on top of him and feel how his head bursts under you. You try and stand up, but your arms won't respond. You feel something sticky and warm against your cheeks. When you realize it's the exploded eyeballs of the man, you move aside with uncanny speed given the state your body is in. You want to make sure you're hosting because you got more phone calls to make. Post the tree everywhere. Alright, yeah. No, yeah, make your phone calls. It sounds like that needs to be taken care of. Even if it didn't damage any of your stuff, just to get it out of, like, the way and taken care of. You wipe as best you can and suddenly stop. Giant beasts that look like armadillos crash against each other and trample the corpses in the gallery. Something seems to unlock your brain and the stench overpowers you, making you gag. You have to get out of there. One of the creatures seems to notice that there's movement and starts running towards you. I'm going to go for the pile of corpses, I think. That seems like the smart choice. I say yes. It's probably not. You throw yourself over the bodies and roll to one side. The creature charges against the bodies, and you hear the sound of broken bones. Another creature runs to you. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to trust that I need to stay where I am. You stay where you are, waiting. The first creature turns when it notices your presence and gives a step forward, making the second one deviate from its path and crash against the wall beside you. The creature's shell scrapes against your leg, tearing your flesh. Adrenaline shields you from pain. The creature gets trapped upside down after the impact and can't get up. You move as fast as you can towards the light, and suddenly everything goes dark. You hear screams that don't seem of pain. They sound like the screams of some Brazilian pastors you saw on TV. Are these people worshipping the giant creatures? You can't believe the size of the beast. Much larger than the rest. Was it their mother? You start to retrace your steps and catch a glimpse of the soft body of the armadillo that cannot move. You take the knife out of your pocket and don't think about it twice. You push the blade into the soft tissue and use all your body weight to open the wound up the creature's anus. The screaming is deafening. You jump aside and watch the mother turn her young right side up while it dies slowly, its guts spreading all over the floor. You run to the light while the mother keeps moving the creature with its snout, and the rest of her offspring keeps smashing corpses frantically. You enter the old tunnels and try to put as much distance as possible between you and the gallery. As you walk away, the sounds soften until they seem to disappear. After walking for some hours, you collapse on the floor. You look at your hurt leg and realize it'll be difficult to keep going. You lose consciousness and, in fits of fever, You dream about one of those creatures charging against you and tearing your skin off. You think about the precise moment that sealed your destiny and die in the tunnels with a gangrenous leg. And we died. I'm gonna load my save. And I'm gonna go right this time. The paths that go left and right form a kind of balcony that overlooks a huge gallery. You try and go right, but the people keep pushing you from behind. Terrified, you notice there's no railing before you. Turn around and push. Oh, and looks like we're falling again. Even though you push desperately, you end up falling into the void and crash into the gallery floor. Unable to move, you see the giant shadows walk swiftly towards you, and a few seconds later, you don't feel anything anymore. Okay, so this time I'm going to go left and I'm not going to plant my feet. I think we just need to kind of follow the crowd. Keep walking a little bit more. After a few steps, you realize you can't keep going and decide to stop. This is the same dialogue. So it's a but thou must situation. We need to grab the collar. And this time, we need to run towards the exit. I mean, there's also the corpses and standing in front of them. I'm going to run to an apparent exit. You move as fast as you can towards the light, and suddenly everything goes dark. You hear screams that do not seem of pain. They sound like the screams of some Brazilian pastors you see on TV. Are they worshipping the giant creatures? You can't believe the size of the beast. Much larger than the rest. Was it their mother? Before you can even react, a giant paw breaks you like an egg. Okay, so that's not the choice. We need to go to the corpses. And this time, stand in front of the pile. You stand between the pile of corpses and the creature charging against you. The first creature lifts its snout from the gory meat and walks to you. At the last moment, you roll to the side and the creatures crash against each other with a loud bang that echoes through the gallery. One of the giant armadillos gets trapped upside down and can't get back up. Okay, that's actually the same line. You can't believe the size of the beasts, much larger than the rest. Was it their mother? You start to retrace your steps and catch a glimpse of the soft body of the armadillo that cannot move. Okay, we killed it last time. As you walk away, the sounds soften until they seem to disappear. Okay, sweet. Looks like we've gotten farther. You wander through the tunnels for hours until you finally hear a voice calling your name. You collapse to the floor and scream until your throat bleeds. A few minutes later, Chelo kneels by your side. You show him the bloody knife. Chelo nods and helps you up. A few weeks later, you go back to work. You say hi to them and they greet you as an old friend. Between one trip and the other, you share mate. And, once a year, always on the same night, Scotch. You no longer feel guilty. You like to think that you're now part of a special subgroup, like the prime numbers. You remember the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, taught in the company booklet, which states that every integer greater than 1 is either a prime number itself or can be represented as the product of prime numbers. You think about your talks with the guys about the 19, about everything each of you saw underground. You realize that they're the only ones who can understand you. Alright, that was not bad. I liked it. I didn't get all of the endings, but I mean, let's try to get some of the other ones. We'll do a little bit of adjustments. So, I can go to the bathroom or I can go to the common room. I went to the bathroom first time. I'm going to do a save right there. Let's go to common room first. Alright. Right. So last time we'll shake our head. See if there's any other different dialogue, I will read it out loud. Okay, so this time I'm not going to take the knife. I'm going to leave it. That's what I need to do. Or I could speak. Let's shit talk Jose. Chayla says it's not easy being an operator in the 19. You'll understand in time. You see Chayla slide something under the door, and he says that tonight is... Okay, yeah, we read that. Let's lift the knife and leave it on the toilet lid. This time we're just not going to have our knife. Which I have a feeling will only matter on the that one choice. Well, that one area where you actually have to split the armadillo. Let's ask for help this time. You ask one of the people there to help you move the body. They ignore you. Grab another man by the robe, but he gets rid of you and keeps walking. Why aren't they helping you? Who are they? Okay, so they just straight up won't help. Just close our eyes. You close your eyes and try to convince yourself that it's all a nightmare, but you can feel the tiredness in your legs and hear loud banging noises in the distance. You touch your head. You can feel the bump under your helmet. You open your eyes again. Nothing has changed. Okay. So it's a little bit more flavor text. Let's ask for help this time. You ask for help and no one stops. More people trip, and for a brief moment you're aware of the weight on your legs and your chest. And you feel the pressure of cold, rough floor on the back of your neck. You scream until you pass out. Okay, so that's the first ending. I feel like I've got two more. Okay, we're going left. because that's the only way to go. Okay, we need to grab the collar. Otherwise, we're just going to die. I'm going to try to go for the good way, which was to pile of corpses, stand in front of it. Okay. You can't believe the size of the beast, much larger than the rest. Was their mother? You start to retrace your steps and catch a glimpse of the soft body of the armadillo that cannot move. For a second, you think about what Chayla said, and remember the knife you left in the toilet, the station's bathroom. What would you have done if you had it? A question lingers for a second in the air, then your consciousness disappears in the weight of a giant claw. Okay, so that appears to be all the endings, or at least all that I could think of. I may have missed one.